Hi, everyone. My name is Sarah Kasabian, and I'm the content editor at GitLab. And today we're going to be talking about our insights tool and how we have dog fooded our way to success.
I'm Kyle Wiebers. I'm a quality engineering manager here at GitLab on the engineering productivity team. So engineering productivity, we focus on a variety of different areas, but one of them being engineering metrics to see how we're doing to perform according to our bug SLOs and seeing how many merge requests we're merging over a certain period of time. And that's where we built insights to kind of help us get that information available right in line with our product.
All right, great. So could you start by showing us an example of the dashboard that you use and telling us what is insights?
Yes, let me go ahead and just share my screen here. All right, so Insights is a feature of GitLab that enables configuration of dashboards like the one you're seeing here for issues and merge requests using labels. And that can help you identify trends in your issue and label workflow to see how many merge requests are being completed or merged, for example, or how many issues are being created and closed over a certain period of time. So this dashboard here, this is our merge request throughputs dashboard. This shows us how many merge requests we're completing on a given week. So this is a weekly view. We've configured this dashboard at the GitLab org group level. So this looks at all the projects under the group and then shows us how many merge requests were merged each week. And we're able to actually do a stacked bar chart here, which will show us the merge request by type. So at GitLab, we have types to our merge requests that helps us categorize, is this a feature, is this a bug, is this a community contribution from like an open source contribution from a community member, and that helps us understand what type of work is being completed over that same period of time. This chart right here also allows us to look at it weekly or monthly. So we can look at short-term trends, longer-term trends to see, are we delivering more work? Are we kind of hitting a bottleneck? Are we plateauing? And then allow us to dive a little bit deeper and take a corrective action.
Okay,
Another
great.
chart. Oh, go ahead, Sarah. Sorry.
Oh, I was going to say, do you want to show us an example at the project level as well?
Yeah.
How we would use insights?
Yeah. So at the project level, let's do. Actually, I will just.
Sorry, did I throw you off?
No. I think right here, actually, I had one right next to it at the project level. So this is that same dashboard, but it's filtered down to just the specific project. So this is the instead of the GitLab org group level right here. This is the GitLab project within that. So our main mono repo that we use to build our product. Here we can look and see the same dashboard, leveraging that same configuration, the same insights dashboard configuration, I should say, to get to see the same trends on a specific project level. This didn't require any configuration at the project level. We just configured this dashboard once at the group level, and then we were able to see it at both the project and group level. So as you can see here, like just for example, we'll do 22 features on this project, and there was 36 features at the group level. So you can see the GitLab repo is a large percentage of the overall throughput, but it doesn't contain all of it. I'll add another thing that we leverage insights for is looking at issues as well. So insights, you're able to see trends in issues and merge requests. One of the items that really led to the creation of this was looking for a bug SLO adherence. So trying to see how well are we as an organization doing at closing our bugs within our service level objectives that we've defined in our documentation. So for P1, for example, that would be within 30 days. Here you can see our chart again at the group level of what bugs are past SLO by month, by created month. So there's all open bugs and then all open customer bugs here, which will allow us to again get that kind of filtered view of the data or of the issues. So this is across all bugs, and these are across the ones that were reported by a customer. This really allows us to, again, look at the trends of, are we improving? Are we getting worse? Do we need to look a little bit deeper here and do a corrective action to help address any problems that we see within the trends that Insights provides?
Okay, great. So then would you say that the main reason why we built Insights was to respond to the need to look at like some of these higher level trends?
So we really were having success looking at these outside of the product. And with that success, we wanted to bring that functionality in. Kind of getting back to your question, yeah, Insights really helps us do this, helps us get a sense of how are we doing according to a specific objective, measurement objective, seeing that visually, presenting it for anyone to see, and then again, dive deeper and take that corrective action.
Okay, great.
The other thing where we at GitLab have maybe more of a unique challenge when it comes to Insights is we have a large number of teams working in projects that are inside this group. So being able to filter down to filter further to look at throughputs or bugs by team right now would require a team to create their own Insights dashboard. However, one of the things we're working towards is being able to apply a filter in line to this dashboard. So something supplemental to the dashboard configuration YAML that powers all of these. The other thing that GitLab is maybe a little bit more unique, you can see here we have 25,000 open issues on this one project. That's a lot of issues to sort through. We have a lot of activity on our project, I think, compared to a lot of our customers that may be using this. And to kind of help make Insights more effective for us, we use a lot of automation to ensure label hygiene so that we're applying labels or identifying where we're not, and nudging someone to apply a type label, a bug or feature or backstage, or make sure that there's a severity categorized or priority on bugs so that we can determine what's the SLO. There's a variety of automation that we use with our triage ops project that we do on a daily and weekly basis to help ensure all of the issues and merge requests flow into these charts in a very, very clear manner, and we don't have a lot of things falling out.
Okay, so can you talk a little bit more about how labels are involved with Insights?
Yeah, so Insights dashboards are really just looking at that issue and merge request item. I'll click over to the documentation here. And then all the other additional configuration is done leveraging labels on those issues or merge requests. So you may be filtering down to a population. So in this example here, this is looking at open issues with a filter label of a bug. And that's where those issues are really important, because they will either exclude items if they don't apply, or you may have charts that list a number of non-categorized items when it comes to priority. So for example, like this section here, there's this is a regressions dashboard showing how many bugs are caught that are regressions from a previous release, so where we broke something in a previous release, and there's 26 issues here that are that don't have an associated milestone that they were tied to. So that's where label hygiene is very, very important, to make sure that you don't have this section of issues or merge requests that are falling outside of your dashboards.
Okay.
So some of the other ways that we dog food Insights here. So I talked about throughputs and bug SLO. We actually leverage it internally in a number of different ways. So our support team has actually just taken the out-of-the-box Insights configuration to look at how many support tickets are created and closed per month. so they can get a sense of, again, how is their trending performance. These are actually like this issues dashboard is the standard configuration if you were to just create an insights dashboard with what's available in the product. Another way that we've leveraged this specifically within the quality department is we have an initiative right now to test EE, like the Enterprise Edition features. And we created a GitLab project to identify what is all the scope. So we created test cases for those, and we can see how many issues do we have open, how many issues do we have closed by product area, so by group here, and then by tier. So looking at starter, premium, ultimate. So we can ensure we're focusing on closing test case gaps on the right areas. And again, identifying where do we need to provide more attention to compared to where we are. So looking at this chart, we may say, maybe we should have a few people focus on the gaps in verify because it has the most at the current point. Just to reiterate there, Insights is really a very open-ended tool that allows you to look at issues and merge requests that really fit your own customized workflow. So in addition to just the GitLab workflow where we have our types, we have our SLOs, and we have a lot of automation, you can get a lot of value out of the box just to see how are we doing from an open close perspective on issues and merge requests, as well as filtering down to something specific to your own workflow, like in this case, test cases.
Okay, great. So do you mind showing us like some of the configuration and like how you might configure that? Like it might configure Insights on your own machine or on your own GitLab instance.
Yeah, so there is a documentation page for Insights that does list out what are the different kinds of charts, what are the configuration options. So you can kind of see how can data be presented in different manners, and then how do you actually power that from a schema perspective. So I'm going to pull up the test cases project here and look for the Insights configuration. So the Insights configuration is actually stored in line as code, so it can be changed as just like you do any of your code. It can be version controlled, so you can see changes over time. That gives you a lot of value to just ensure that there's very clear traceability into why was this dashboard changed and when was it changed. Sometimes other dashboarding tools, changes just happen and data looks different, which creates a lot of confusion. Here, there's a single source of truth for why those changes occurred, and it's all version controlled. So the chart that we were just looking at, the test cases chart, you can see the configuration here that looks at, it's a bar chart, looking at issues that are open, filtering down to labels that have this. So this is a label that's applied to our issues to identify this as a test gap. And then these collection labels are what broke out those bars into different columns here. Same thing for closed test cases. It's very similar, just with an issue state of closed. A lot of that is described here. You can get very intricate and complex when you start looking at stacked bar and other types of charts. But the schema to actually configure it is very, very simple.
Okay, great. So this is, for the test cases, this is something that we configured on our own. This wasn't an out-of-the-box sort of solution. How
Correct.
difficult or easy is it to make these sort of, not personalized, but you know what I mean, customized
the customized
adaptations?
dashboards. Yeah, as long as you have an understanding of how you would search for the issues on the issue tracker. So this chart, I think the initial iteration before the chart was looking at issues in the issue tracker. We're going to grab this filter label here and saying I want a filter, or sorry, I want a label equal to right here, and we'll look for here, and here's everything that would be returned in that. So if you're used to finding a collection of issues or merge requests based on filtering, very similar to this, you can likely take that same criteria and port it over into this format, as well as get some additional functionality of aggregating by other labels.
Mhm.
It does kind of connect back to your own workflow and label hygiene practices, but relatively straightforward as long as you're familiar with how you're finding the issues or merge requests that you're trying to identify.
Okay, very interesting. So then who are some of the sort of customer personas or what sort of teams that might be using GitLab could really benefit from this tool, either out of the box or also in terms of how they could flexibly sort of change based on their issue or labeling system and workflows? Two-pronged
Yes.
question for you.
Yeah. So I think from an out of the box, who could benefit from this? Any individual on the team who would be interested in trends of how are my issues doing from an open close perspective over time, to see is my backlog of work growing, or is it shrinking, or is it staying the same? A lot of what we see here is engineering leaders, so managers, maybe product managers, and directors are interested in that type of information of how are my issues doing from an open close perspective, how much functionality am I completing from a throughput perspective, and then product managers and the support team are interested in the bug SLO, like the bug SLO information. So are bugs that my customers that that I may be interacting with being closed in a timely manner within the manner that the customers would be expecting based on our own workflow procedures. For the other part of the question, can you just refresh my memory and just ask that one again, the second user group?
I'm trying to remember what my second question
So
was.
it was out of the box and then customized. I think
Oh,
was
yeah.
the other part.
Yeah,
So who would
exactly.
benefit from the customized versions? I think leaders is the big group. So like leaders of a team, leaders of maybe a whole organization would be the individuals who want to see the insights of how is the collection of issues or merge requests that I care about performing based on my own defined workflow within the product. The team would likely also want to know those trends and see those results, but I think leaders would be the individuals who would be most interested in seeing how those trends are over time.
Okay, great. This is awesome. So then, let's see. I guess we talked about configuration, it looks like. Is there anything else that you think that our customers should know about insights that we haven't
Yeah.
really touched on yet?
Nothing that I don't think we've really touched on. I think the things to really think about if you're considering using insights are, do you find yourself pulling data out of GitLab either through the API or through a CSV export, and then building charts over issues and merge requests? If you're finding yourself doing that, insights may be a really good candidate for you to look at, creating something where the single source of truth is right in line with your group or project that you're trying to report on. And then the other thing just to consider as you're looking towards insights is be sure to have a defined workflow and an automated mechanism to ensure label hygiene along that workflow. That's where tools like GitLab Triage, which is an open source tool that GitLab does a lot of the development for, can help you define policies to ensure that the label hygiene for your workflow is being enforced and identify areas where they're falling outside.
So GitLab Triage helps with automation, and that's sort of what we've seen with the bugs SLO dashboard, correct?
Mm-hmm. Right.
And the triage is what sort of the tool is what powers that automation. Is that correct?
Correct. Yeah,
Okay.
that's correct. Yep. And then GitLab, we have our own policies leveraging GitLab triage in the triage ops project. So GitLab org quality triage ops. And then you can look at the policies here that are leveraged to help ensure the hygiene that I was referring to for GitLab's workflow.
But our customers, if they wanted to use just like a manual labeling system,
Yep.
that works well as well.
Exactly.
You can do that too.
Yep, exactly. So if you're used to categorizing your issues as bugs or features and doing that manually, you can leverage that. You can leverage that categorization just normally. I'll say you can just leverage that categorization. That'll help you just build your dashboards around the process that you're already doing. There's no requirement to do automation, but if you find yourself having a large backlog of issues, that's where automation. So a large backlog of issues similar to GitLab, that's where automation can assist you with ensuring the conformity of your workflow, of your issues and merge requests to your workflow.
So we've definitely been dog fooding not issues, sorry, insights here at GitLab, and you've definitely learned a lot, it seems like, through actually using the tool when you're applying it to GitLab specific use cases. But
Mm-hmm.
what do you think is next and for the insights tool and technology? Like, what are you working on to make improvements?
Yeah, so I would say focus on improving that deeper dive. So I referred to that a few times earlier of you may notice a trend that's out of alignment and you need to dive deeper. For now, what that looks like is going to the issue tracker, filtering down to the same population and exporting that data out potentially. Maybe what that looks like for customers. So we want to provide that CSV export ability in here, the ability to drill deeper into like what are the issues that are in this set, like for example, or create additional filters to narrow down to a smaller population of issues or merge requests within a dashboard, kind of dynamically, so that you can do that deeper dive within the tool itself versus having to go outside of it.
Okay, great. Is there anything else that you think that we need to talk about with insights and how we can encourage more of our users to take advantage of this tool?
No, nothing that we haven't already talked about. Insights is just a very flexible tool that allows you to customize dashboards depending on your own requirements. And it's something that we found a lot of value here at GitLab in looking at some of our key performance indicators related to bug, SLO, and throughputs across all of our projects. And I'm sure our customers can find similar value as well.
Cool. So if our customers have any or users have any feedback for you or any ideas about how they could further customize the insights tool that they want your team on quality engineering to look at, how could they get in touch with you?
Yeah, so the issues for insights are tracked within the GitLab project issue tracker. So feel free to create an issue just like you would any other feature of the product. And there's labels that could be applied for insights that'll help indicate that it's for that specific product area. If there's no labels applied, there's a way for the quality department to identify those issues and find them so that they can get acted upon accordingly.
Okay, awesome, Kyle. This has been super insightful and helpful. I look forward to seeing what's next for insights as you all continue working on the tool.
Thank you very much. It was great chatting with you on this, and I appreciate the opportunity.
Okay, cool. Talk to you soon. Bye.
Yes, Sarah.